कहाँ जा रहे रे खाना के गेम तुम देते तो लाके नहीं वो ही जा दे रहे
कोर्स में जाबू कहो हेयरस्टाइल तो पतला दिसला गैरी से मोड़
क्या है
कपड़ा पहना था शायद इसलिए बहुत
क्या रहेगा कपड़ा वाला है कल कोई बड़का कोई छोटा
सब तय करा दे
कैसे करोगे जितना खर्चा जाए अगर गाड़ी का
ना भी करिए प्रेस, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं, मैं देख लूंगा।
सारा सामान निकाल दिया हुआ तेल की कहनी
तेल प्याज,
हाँ तेल प्याज अपना अपनी डिग्गी में डाल दिए पीछे। बाकी वो तेरा बोले जा रहा है
प्रोजेक्टर
उसको किस में डालेगा?
डाल देंगे पीछे, कोई समस्या नहीं।
जब वो बैग ले जा बड़े वाले उसमें कपड़े भी डाल दिए और प्रोजेक्ट भी उसमें डाल दिए।
हाँ सर बड़ा
मैं नहीं खा रही हूँ, मुझे खाना चाहिए, भूख लग रही है।
बिजली सारे
इन ले जाने दो, इधर रखो।
हाँ कल दूध में जाता है दोबारा जो करता है
निकल ही नहीं रहा मैं ठीक से।
ठीक है पेंट
फ्रेंड से स्केट हो चाहिए नहीं घर गुड में, ठीक है।
हां पेंट के दे पेंट है जरा के पेंट होते हैं नहीं पेंट के होते
हजो मत टोका करो, नहीं तो मना है।
जितेंद्र कुमार जी, आप अपना माइक ऑफ करें प्लीज। जितेंद्र कुमार।
पूरे समय
Karan sir, perhaps we can start a little bit and
Okay.
then- okay.
Okay. So, good evening to all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir, you're
Thank you.
audible.
Thank you, Dr. Pradesh Chauhan. Welcome to students, Indian Culture, Science and Traditions. This conference is organized by Science and Management Society, Himachal Pradesh, in collaboration with 24 degree and postgraduate colleges of Himachal Pradesh. 21 colleges are from Himachal and 3 are from Haryana in online and offline mode. And patron in chief of this national conference is Dr. Sunil Gupta.
One second. कोई बच्चों आप who is speaking शीतल अपना माइक ऑफ करें आप शीतल.
Request to participants, please off your mic. Patron in chief of this international conference is Dr. Sunil Gupta. He is chairperson, Higher Education Council, Himachal Pradesh. Chief patron is Dr. S.S. Sammat. He is director, Himalayan Forest Research Institute, HFRI, Shimla, Panthagati, Shimla. And all the eminent professors and scholars organizing this international seminar. All the faculty, students and research scholars connected to this seminar. I welcome you all. I am Karan Pathania. I am associate professor at Government PG College Dhaliara. This college is in district Kangra of Himachal Pradesh, nearby to Dharamshala city. And it is my proud privilege and it gives me pleasure to be the moderator of today's pre-workshop session of this seminar. And today's day 4 of this international workshop, and chairperson is Dr. Sandeep Kandwal. Dr. Sandeep Kandwal, his principal Government College Adulta, Panipat, Haryana. And before I invite the first speaker of today's workshop, Dr. Aperna, I would like to invite Dr. Brajesh Chauhan to give a brief introduction about this international seminar and what is the purpose of this international seminar. Dr. Brajesh Chauhan, his principal, Government College, Seema, Himachal Pradesh. So I invite him.
Thank you very much, Professor Karan Pathania sir, and you and me were together in Shimla University long time, and even in college we were together. Thank you very much. It's very unique event for me that today you are conducting this workshop, and I will just say a few words. One is that today we have some international famed speakers. Though they need hours together, in 15-20 minutes, even their engines will not get heated up to speak the real things. But even then, because we have a 1 hour or 1.5 hour time only, so Dr. Aperna is internationally famous speaker, and she has to her credit many international awards also, and particularly in the field of education. And she is one of the founder director of European Union education system, and many other things. And all students who are present in this workshop today, whether they are students from school, college or university, even faculty members, professors and principals, we are very lucky to have her today in this session. And then we have Mr. Jairo. He is sometime Jairo, we just confuse, but he is famous geophysicist, and he has done a lot of latest research in Japan, and sometime he is in other parts of world also. And my suggestion to all participants is that you just listen to them. Maybe we don't have any specific topic for them, because both they are source of knowledge, and they in fact they are dictionaries of knowledge. So they will share something about their particular field, plus their experiences also. I request both the speakers that they will speak some interesting things from their life career, or from their teaching experience, or from their experience which they got when they widely traveled all over the world. This is very important for all participants. And in many colleges, like in my college, I have given assignment to students also for today's session. Students will prepare some assignment, because I am of firm belief that classroom teaching is not the only thing which is important for students. When they interact with different people, when they travel widely all over the world, or maybe in their country, that is also a very important method through which they get knowledge, they get confidence, they get new directions to build their future or career and all. With this note, I stop myself, and it's time for Karan Patania sir to proceed further. And I request, I suggest even this thing, that all student participation, whether they are from school, college, or university, or research scholars, and even faculty member, you must certainly ask some questions when a particular speaker will finish their talk. Thank you very much. That's all from my side, Karan sir. Thank you. Karan sir? Hello? Karan sir, are you there? Okay, maybe Professor Karan Patania, he has some signal issue. We can start with the Dr. Aperna Buleru. You are
Dr.
there?
Sir, I think Karan sir his mic is, I think, mute. So he will have to unmute his mic. That's why he's trying to.
Okay.
Yeah. So now he's now he's there. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
It's okay. Welcome.
Thank you, Brajesh, sir. And you have very well elaborated this seminar, and you have very well given the introduction of Dr. Aperna, consultant, psychologist, researcher, and educationist, widely traveled. And I had an opportunity earlier also to listen to her. And she is the founder of RITG International Foundation. And she is, as Brajesh very well tell us, that recipient of many awards, international and national award, and many accolades. And she is vice president of All India Tribal Council. She has wide range of experiences, and she will probably share her experiences and speak particularly on European way of life, as I am told by Dr. Brajesh. So I invite her, Dr. Aperna, please. Dr. Aperna, if you are listening to me.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Dr. Karan Patania, sir.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Sandeep Khandwal. And good evening, Dr. Brijesh Chauhan, who's my very favorite scientist of the world, and also a great friend. And to all of you on this panel, students, professors, scientists, and everyone. Today I'm here along with my colleague, Professor Raina and Cairo Raina. He's from Colombia. So together we will be taking this session. As Dr. Brijesh asked me that I should be talking about mostly about the Italian education, Italian tourism, the way of life there for a student. So I will be talking about that mostly. But then along with that, I'll be also talking about a lot of other things about my personal experiences, which Dr. Brijesh exclusively asked me that I should be talking about, because I usually don't talk about my personal life or my personal career growth as I was from the student to an employee, to a doctorate, to an academician, psychologist, and today as an entrepreneur and philanthropist. So it's a long way, long journey, a long, huge ladder, but then it's always step by step that you grow. You never grow together. You never put all the steps together. So I would be very delighted to share here, firstly, about Italy. That's where I've been living for last 32 years. So I would share all the students, for all the academicians and scientists and researchers present here. I would like to tell about the Italian education system. So the Italian education system is basically a public system where where all the institutions are funded by the government. The Italian education system, right from the kindergarten to the university, is all free for its students and its residents. When I say residents, even a foreigner can avail all these facilities by staying here. Not only this, someone is okay. So,
Excuse me, Dr. Brajesh. Dr. Brajesh,
Yes, sir.
can we request everybody to switch off the mic, because otherwise they will be disturbing,
yes, that would be very nice, Dr. Singh.
Everybody should be, they should switch off their mic, That's it.
Kanika Sharma, please mute your mic. Kanika Sharma and some other speakers, please, participants, please mute your mic.
Otherwise the host can do it, no problem.
Mute all. Okay,
Yes,
I will
yeah.
mute.
Except Aparna, Dr. Aparna, you can switch off everybody.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for understanding that. So I was saying, like, Italian education system is a very beautiful education system, and if it can be implemented, I know on papers it is now being implemented also in India as a new education policy of the government. But if we could really bring it to the ground level reality, it would be a beautiful system. Because in Italy, we would say, like, being a doctor myself, being also my husband being an oncosurgeon, we've always tried to send our children only to a government school, never to a private school. Because in Italy, we have a kind of a feeling inside our heads that in the government school, the best of the children go, best of the education is provided, best of the teachers are there, best of the guides are there, best of the advisors, counselors are there for the kids. While the children who fail and who are not able to clear their exams in the government schools go to the private schools. So you can just imagine how different the Italian system is from the Indian system. Here, all the facilities are in the private school, while the government is spending huge amounts for our education. So it is just, like with this new education policy, the government of India has now put all the European standards. I would also rather say not only the European, all the developed nation standards into India. So one government cannot do this. It's us as educators, it's us as scientists, it's us as citizens. We should help the government to execute this and to do it so that, our public system, that means our government run schools are as good as private organizations, and the education can be given to all, even to the rich, to the poor, indifferent of class or creed or caste. The children can acquire this kind of knowledge. Now coming to again back to and I'll be just doing this kind of a comparison and contrasting wherever possible, so that we will know as researchers how best to implement what is good in Italy, and how government has been implementing those things also in India, but how we are failing to implement at ground reality level. So I would be talking now about the Italian system itself of education, especially since you all are mostly university going students. So I will concentrate mostly on the university. So as I said, the universities in Italy are free, are government aided. Italian government spends 65 million euros per annum on its education for students. And that which would mean like 555 crore Indian rupees on just educating its population. When I say population, it means both foreign population, citizens, residents, non-residents. So in that scenario, when Italian government is spending so much on its universities, and I would be showing you some Italian university that always fascinates not only me, but all the people from across the globe. So I will take you through a YouTube for that and a little later. So I was talking about Italian education for universities. How can you get into an Italian education system? So Italian government gives you 100% scholarship. It's free education. I think also many consultants are promoting this. Now, if you study in Italian language, it is 100% free. If you study in any foreign language like English, whoever has turned on the mic, please, I request you to kindly turn it off. Thank you. So, yes, sorry. See, this is the way you distract the speaker, not only me, probably anyone. So I was saying, like, if the best way to go through the Italian thing is, especially for the technical and the scientific subjects, we have something called Poliba Italia. So you can just go say Poliba Italia, and then you can just see all the polytechnic, that is the technical institutes, technical colleges and universities of Italy, and it's just free. So coming back again to the Italian education system. Now, what is very expensive in Italy, which usually students get scared of, is the cost of living, because the university gives you good accommodation, gives you good education, 100% scholarship, but still that money is not sufficient for you to live there. So Italian government, apart from all this, gives you 22 hours of work. So you can do part-time jobs in Italy, 22 hours per week. And that's quite sufficient. Even if you put like 10 to 15 to 20 euros per week, per hour, it's quite a sufficient money for you to pay anything, any of your travel expenditure and everything else. So you would, since you're all in Himachal Pradesh mostly, and you would like to know, why should we study in Himachal Pradesh and why should we go to Italy all the way to study? Yes, you should go. I would suggest you, when you go traveling, you not only expand your horizons in your own subject, but you expand it globally. You come to know so many other people from so many other countries and cultures, ethnic groups, and that really matters to any kind of subject. Since I'm not a physicist, probably Dr. Caro, my colleague, would tell you after some time how he's been traveling across the globe to enhance not only his knowledge, but but how he's been delivering whatever he's been learning all the time, because he's traveled in Japan, he was in Germany, he is now in Colombia, he was in America. So, when you travel, that's when you get the global knowledge, not only the global knowledge for your particular subject, but as a person, as a human being, you develop. You know what's happening in the other side of the world, and what is it that you want to bring back to your own country? What is it that your country is lacking? How can you be useful for your country? And I've heard many times NRIs say, I want to do, but I was not given a chance. No, nobody gives you a chance. It's you who should go to these kind of conferences, these kind of platforms, tell who you are, and probably somebody will ask you, how may I help you? And that's when the story starts. That's how it started for me. Like, that's how through Dr. Brijesh, today I am running a beautiful project in India about education, where we have started online education, where we are hiring teachers from across India. So, how could I do this? Thanks to Dr. Chauhan, Brijesh Chauhan, because he could help me, helping me to scoot out the right teachers, right students, right, give me the platform. So, it's not that NRIs can just say that, it's very difficult. Yes, India is a subcontinent. It's not one small little country like Italy, where we have very limited population. Every citizen is marked out. Every citizen's movement is traced. But India is a huge country. It's a subcontinent with many ethnic groups, and many religious groups, many states, many languages. So that diversity also can be beautified if we travel globally. So students here, doctorates here, scientists, and everyone on the panel, I would definitely say that you should go traveling. And the best way for an academician to travel is to go to the universities, present your papers, get it sanctioned, get your loans, get your subsidies, get your scholarships. And it's not big thing, because once you are a student, you have access to your visas, you have everything. So government probably doesn't give you a way out for your work visas, but government always wants to give students a chance to travel across the globe, travel across. And when I say Italy, 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 why Italy? Because Italy is not only a European Union country, but it's also a G7 nation. So as you all must be knowing, G7 is the world's most richest economies of the world. So they're very stable economies. So living in a stable economy, you always learn which is the right way to do things, the right way to do things. And you learn that. So being an Indian, hailing from India, and like Dr. Chauhan said, so I would be sharing a part of my life. I've been I graduated from Dehradun, from Wellams. So of course, as most of you would be knowing, Wellams is #1 institute for women, for girls. So it's a very prestigious thing to study in Wellams. But from there, I was on my own. That's where until that place, it's the family who supported. But from there, how do you go on? You get your scholarships, you go out. I stepped out into UK. I worked back for myself. I studied for myself. And I think it's been 27 years until now, that no one has broken my record in UK. I'm the only non-Brit to get UK Queen's Award. So you don't get a UK Queen's Award. It's out of sight for anyone. Any student cannot expect this, because it's exclusively for a British student, British national. So how do you get it? When I got it, it was like 20 years later. And it's been 27 years and still somebody doesn't. So Indians, where am I saying? Not that I am great that I got it. It's us. We Indians have a DNA that's very intelligent. We belong to the most intelligent race of the world. So why not use it? Why what are we fearing? As a woman, as a girl who was just 16 years, if I could step out of my country, definitely anyone can. And it's not just the life gets over when you get graduated. You then start getting into the employment, you start proving your employers that you are the best. You can work with integrity, you can work with ethics, and you are just the brain that India is so proud of. So that's how you go on. Until today, whenever you go to the science conference, and then I changed from IT to neuroscience. So I'm a neuroscientist, I'm a psychologist. So, psychology just comes with neuroscience. So that's part of it. So it's not easy, it's not simple, but it's your own personal zeal and your own personal motivation. To some extent, the family motivates you. After that, you are on your own. The sky is the limit, and you set your targets. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to reach? And I'm 48 now, and still I haven't stopped my battle. I've still not stopped my ambitions, and still I'm going on. So anyone can go. So it's all about balancing your life, balancing your career. And of course, Italy has given me my bread, my butter, my first, how do you say, launch pad. And it's been taking care of me. It will take care of you. Not only Italy, any country would take care of you, provided you use your brains in the right way. You have a desire to grow. You have a desire to do the research. You have a desire to study. You have a desire to mentor yourself. And people like Dr. Brijesh, Professor Patania, I've known them personally, of course, virtually, Dr. Patania, but they are such lovely guides. They have so much of patience. They never get tired speaking and training and coaching their students. So when you have such lovely people, lovely ambience around you and environment, you should take complete, how would I say, complete use of it. Sorry for this word, but I'm not getting at this moment the right word to say. You should utilize their services, their, whatever they want to give you. You should not say that they are just talking for nothing. No, they are not, because they are your mentors. They are the people who will hold your hand, and you don't know where they would leave you. And from there you have to leave your own self. So, gather their experiences. These experienced people are not free for you. They don't come free of cost. But here you're getting a free platform where you can speak to them, get the knowledge, be associated with them, be their guides. You wouldn't believe, like I used to go and print even photocopies for my professors. You wouldn't know that I would just go and do shopping for my professors. So, you just be around them. That's when they give you that little precious knowledge which turns your life, that little guidance that you need, because all are in the same boat. But only one can be the ship captain. So you decide, if you want to be the ship captain, you have to be around that ship captain. So you decide, you do things. So while I've been talking so much about Italy's education system, I would also like to talk about tourist destinations. So I just want to leave to apply for your student visa and go to Italy. That's the motive, what I want to motivate you for today. So I would also talk about why Italy. So if you can go to Italy as a student on a student visa, you are also free to travel to all the European Union, Schengen visas countries. And that way, there is again another thing that's very beautiful about European Union. There is a system called Erasmus. Mark this word, boys and girls and gentlemen, Erasmus. This is a beautiful program of European Union. This is a project run by European Union, wherein a student goes to one country, one university, and from there he applies for Erasmus program and goes to another university in another country to study. So that's beautiful. Like, you learn so many languages, you learn so many cultures, you study your own subject in so many different ways, with so many professors who speak different languages, even if they speak English, it's so many different accents. So you really get to know the globe. So, European Union gives you all these facilities, and all this is free. So my word, free, I'm very, very attached to this word free, because I come from a country where education is free, medicines is free, medical facilities is free, hospitals are free. So, I'm so used to this free thing. And actually, this makes a lot of difference, because when everything around you, government makes it free, you don't mind paying tax. So Italy is one of the countries in the world where we pay the heaviest tax. And still we don't mind paying that tax. We don't think how to evade that tax. That's because we know we live in a country where if we are sick, we will be taken care of. We don't have to hunt for insurances and money. We know that when we will be old, we would have free old age homes, and those would be better than any 5-star facility. Believe me that. So, these are the countries that you should look forward for. And then it doesn't end your story, because your story is just about to begin. Then you step back into your own country and give all that knowledge and information that you have learned. And that's exactly what I'm also trying to do. And I would love that all of you young people should go abroad, to diversify yourself, diversify your knowledge, learn many things, learn how the globe works, how everything works, and come back to your nation and give that back to your nation to say, thank you, because I was born here. This is where I have to give back. So I'll now take you, I don't know if I can share my, Dr. Brajesh, please, or moderator, Dr. Karan Patania, is it possible I can share a video?
Yeah, ma'am, you can go on, please.
Thank
Time
you.
is there.
Thank you. So, just give me one moment, please. I cannot share my video. It says I'm disabled. It's okay, even if I can't. I will write. Okay, not a problem. Sorry, I can't share the video, but you can definitely go on. I will type it for you all on the text box. It's called University of Bologna. It's the world's first university, and it's in Italy. Most of the research scholars from across the world come here. So I will just, please check your inbox. University of, it's called University of Bologna. So it's a big information for many of you who don't know that it is the first university of the world. So this university is in Italy. It's free of cost to study there. So you could apply all the kinds of faculties are in this university, right from medicine to engineering to humanities, art, whatever subject. So I think like if you get a chance to study in this university, it is, I was trying to, later on you can go by yourself onto YouTube and check out this university. And this university is in a beautiful place called Bologna. It's up in north and it's between the mountains and the sea, and you would really enjoy. And most of the people who are foodies here would know that there is something called lasagna bolognese, pasta bolognese. All this pasta and lasagna bolognese comes from this place called Bologna. So that's one thing. And then we have beautiful cities, very ancient, very, very ancient, like Rome and Florence in Italy, which are very, very beautiful. I would say like beautiful is a very little small word for these cities. In fact, where Florence is called as an open museum. So you just walk in the streets of Florence and you feel as if you are walking in a museum. So that's how it is. And I think right now, like for any questions, I would come back to you. You could just write down and you can keep texting me on the chat box and I will answer so that other speakers get a chance to speak. So I would not talk about tourism because this was more about education. So I wish you all good luck, and I would ask Dr. Karan Patania, sir, to pass it on to my colleague, Dr. Carol Rainer.
Okay, Dr. Aperna, before we have next speaker, we want to hear something from you, like we want to visit Sardinia and Rome even with some student professors and some group of academicians even. So what time is good to visit Italy and particularly Sardinia, because we will take your help also there and your guidance.
Certainly, Dr. British. Sardinia is one of the islands in Italy, and it is one of the islands and one of the places of the world where the life expectancy is the maximum. People, we have come to know that people have been living above 100 years as well. And the average lifespan is 96 years of Sardinia. So, and the food in Sardinia is very, very good. And many people go there because there are a lot of natural resort, how do you say, not natural hot springs. So natural hot springs. I'm sorry because I get most of the words in Italian, staying in Italy now. So, okay, so there are a lot of natural hot springs there, which cure any kind of skin diseases. Because I don't know, probably some chemist can tell us what are the kind of. I know that there is chlorine and some kinds of chemical components that cure such kind of very rare skin diseases. And Sardinia is also famous for lot of researchers get attracted to Sardinia because the University of Sardinia is very famous. It's very famous for both, as I said, Italy, maximum of the Italian universities are very famous for its medicine and for its engineering courses. So, and the best part of the year to visit Sardinia or Italy would be September, between September to November, because Sardinia being a tourist spot is very, very expensive in the summer. So I would not recommend any of you to go to Sardinia between May to September, because that's high peak season of tourism. A glass of water becomes 10 times, and you wouldn't believe if I would tell you the price of a glass of water. Probably it is 300 rupees to 400 rupees. A glass of water, not a liter of water. So sometimes we say drinking beer is cheaper than drinking water. So that is the situation. So if you want to go and just get alcoholized, yes, you can go in summer. Otherwise, I would recommend that you should go before May or after September. So May to September is something that you should avoid completely. If you want to go before May, since you are mostly from Himachal Pradesh, so I'm sure that cold will not be a threat to you. So you can go in the winter season. So winter season is the hot season.
Dr. Aperna, we have in this meeting people from Haryana, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, Rajasthan also.
So yes,
okay. My suggestion is, Karan sir, let's have 2 questions from students. Other question we can take later on. So, is it fine?
Absolutely. I'll be
Today you are moderator and we have to take your permission also.
No.
Karan sir?
Yeah.
Hello.
Dr.
Can I
Pradesh,
ask
you
my
can
question?
that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Be very brief and answer will be also in few seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Prakshit.
Yeah. My question is, what kind of job opportunity in Italian?
Depends what kind of subjects have you been studying?
Right now I am in BCA student.
See, for BCA students, if you want to go ahead for your future studies, I think the part-time opportunities are usually not very professional. You wouldn't get professional, but you can definitely, if you under Dr. Brijesh, I know he does a lot of skill development, and if you could join his skill development courses and improve your skills, then definitely you can do a lot of other professions like electricians, plumbers, or taking care of sick people, old age people. And I also know that Dr. Brijesh is now doing some good research with herbs. So if you could learn how to grow herbs and do that, so you definitely Italy is going to accept you as a skilled worker until you don't become a professional.
Okay, next question. Next.
Hey, hi. My question is, can you please inform us about the various career opportunities which psychology offers? Because it has been a very...
Your name, your participant, tell your name and name of your institution also.
My name is Anushka Verma and the name of my institution is Center of Excellence in Jolly.
Anushka, it's a very nice question that you put as a psychologist, because even I am psychologist, so I think I should be able to answer your question. In any of the European countries apart from UK, the only hurdle is that we have to speak their local language. So if you decide to which country you are going, you should be very fluent with their language, because psychology, until unless you can't speak their language, express, how would you be beneficial to them? So it is not only for psychologists, but for all medical students as well. This is a basic thing that if you decide to go to Germany or Spain or Italy or Sweden, you should pick up that language. You should study up, while you are doing your psychology course in India. You should study that foreign language and be very fluent. And then the world is very open. They have a lot of opportunities for researcher, for you to work, for anything.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, my name is Sejal. Ma'am, my question is, what is the criteria for getting scholarship in universities of Italy?
Hello, Tejas. It depends in which faculty you are applying, but most of the faculties, if you get anything like 72%, you should get through the scholarship. You would get scholarship. Of course, it depends university to university. If they want to give you 50% to 100%, what is the percentage of scholarship they want to give you? But anything between 72%, you can already start applying for. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Evening, ma'am. This is Sejal Pundir here. And my question is, how do you get involved in the community, or how do you get mixed up in the Western developed fast-moving nations of the world being a student?
Sorry, could you repeat the last line? I could not hear. How could you do what?
How could you mix up in this Western culture, from being an Indian?
Okay, so that was a very good question. Actually, I didn't face much problem because I come from an army background. So my father was an army officer. So army, somehow or the other, the British left the legacy to the army, European legacy. So I came from the same family and I could blend. But for others who are not from the very Western culture, but I don't see in India there is any more the Indian culture as well. So you can easily blend to that culture. It is not very difficult. I think the Indians
and one more thing, Dr. Aperna, you spoke last time that maximum foreigners in Italy, they are Indians, perhaps doing very well also.
Absolutely, doctor. Absolutely. Among all the European nations, Italy has the maximum Indian population. So really, you wouldn't feel like if Monday to Friday is your job, you're with the Westerners. Saturday and Sunday, definitely you can spend in Gurudwara, where you can find all the Indian population coming there, irrespective of the religion. So, we all go there because it's like a club for us, more than a temple. So, you would definitely meet a lot of Indians. And then also there are a lot of Mauritians who are also having their basically they were Indians. So you do mix. There is nothing known as something different. At least for me, my color is very different from a European, but Himachal Pradesh, I think you can blend with the Italians. Because Dr. Chauhan himself looks one Italian, you see?
Okay, that's all, Karan sir. We can invite other speaker, and maybe by the end of this session, we will have more questions.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Sir. And thank you, Dr. Aperna. Some of the participants.
Vandana Sharma, will you mute your mic? Vandana Sharma. And Redmi G also. Redmi G and Vandana, please mute your mic.
Thank you, Dr. Brajesh. And thank you, Dr. Aperna, for giving us such a useful discourse on Italian education system. And as you very rightly tell us that the best of the students and best of the teachers are found there. This is very interesting. You tell us that when a student fails in government schools in Italy, he goes to private schools. In our country, this is this is the opposite. When a student fails in private school, he is admitted in government schools. And you made some very useful comparisons and some interesting facts. In Italy, education is free, 100% free education, scholarship is there. You talk about Poliba Italia, and you also narrated cost of living there and part-time job opportunities. Some of our participants, they are concerned about jobs in Italy or abroad or other countries, European countries. But you very well said that when we go abroad, we bring knowledge not only to ourselves, but also to our country, and we contribute in this way to the development of our own nation. And we get opportunity to expand our horizon of knowledge in our subject. We learn other cultures, other people, other languages. And you also tell us that many subsidies are available when we pursue our education abroad. And Italy is one of the G7 nation developed country and the stable economy, you tell us. And we can go there, and when we go abroad, we learn a right way to do things. And many, you talked about Erasmus. You say that we diversify our knowledge when we go abroad. Dr. Brajesh told to expressed his wish to go to Italy, to Sardinia particularly. You say that some hot springs are found there. Ma'am, hot springs are also found in Himachal, also in Kullu region, in Manikaran. Probably there are many similarities between Himachal and Italy. So many useful and relevant information about Italy and the education system, ma'am, you have given. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Aperna. And now I would like to invite our next speaker, Mr. Zairo. Probably I may be wrong in pronouncing his name. He's a bilingual professor for geophysics and mathematics. And he is from Tohoku University, Japan. Probably he's from Colombia. So I invite him. I do not know much about him. And I request Dr. Brajesh again to give his introduction. Dr. Zairo, our next speaker. Please,
Okay,
Dr. Brajesh.
Mr. Zairo is a famous a geophysicist, and currently he is working in some premium educational institutions all over the world, and advisor in many places. And today, certainly, when we will hear from him, it will add to our knowledge. Even we welcome you, sir, and during your talk, you will certainly elaborate some experiences of your lives, something about physics and geophysics, and your other things. That will be enough, perhaps, from my side. And otherwise, when he will speak, it will elaborate his academic excellence also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Brigish, for those nice words. And I would like to thank also the administration of this International Science Conference for giving me the opportunity to talk. My name is Haido Gutierrez. I am from Colombia. And years ago, I decided to study physics in Colombia and in Germany because I wanted to understand the many beautiful ways nature has to show itself. Between them, I found that the composition of the earth and the energy that is in his interior is amazing. And then I decided to study further physics and geophysics in Japan. Many things have happened in those days. At the beginning, research in this field was reserved only to big companies and institutions because instruments were too expensive. Then technology began to have a large and constant development. Computers and measurement instruments became affordable for small institutions and companies. Today, seismic and magnetotelluric investigations that once were very expensive can now be performed by many institutions and contractors. Soil and underground earth structures can be studied using seismic and magnetotelluric methods. Surprisingly, from so many works that are done nowadays in the geophysics field, only a few ones can be classified as research. Once again, we are seeing that in spite of the sophisticated instruments available for doing geophysics, many professionals working on the geophysics field get stagnant in a routine that keeps them repeating the basic processes that others have done in the past. It's in this point that I want to emphasize today the importance of building a true scientific mind. Working is not only related to the satisfaction of our primary necessities. Our work should also include the curiosity spirit that is natural to all human beings. A profession is only a tool that our mind uses to build a future. In that future, a contribution to the society should be included. In the science field, this contribution appears anytime you get involved in a research. If you push your work one step ahead, you will realize that a clear knowledge of your work is a must. It's not enough to learn the basic routine to do a work. People that keep in routines usually fall in the instrument operator category. This means they clearly know how to use an instrument, but they are unable to answer questions like, is this instrument okay for the measurements I am doing now? Or this another question, how can I improve the data I am taking now? Also, in some cases, something worse happens. For example, my instrument is crazy. It doesn't measure as usual. So you know your work, and if you dare to take a step further, your curiosity will lead you exactly to the points you need to clarify in order to do a better job. In other words, you will find yourself doing a research. And after some hard work, you will notice that the results you get are quite better than before and better than expected. And in the general vision you can have now of your work will show you other steps you can take to go beyond. In countries like Japan and Germany, and I am sure many other countries, people do like this. They are not happy with the basics routine you reach when working. They always strive to contribute to the development of science and hence to society, doing always their best. If you ask me how could I get 2 different scholarships to study physics, geophysics, and besides that, studying also scientific metrology. It means the science of measurements. Then I can tell you that one of the main points that others see on you is your ability to build a good research program. So pay attention to this point, please. If you want to have a scholarship in another country, it means you have to be able to present a good and very structured study program and research program. Usually, people sit there and wait to be illuminated for someone in order to have a good proposal for studies. Please don't do that. You have to illuminate yourself. You have to keep doing hard work and investigate in order to build a good research program. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Zairo, for your useful discourse. If any of our participants have some questions, you can ask.
Yes, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. This is Ishita, and my question is to Sir Zairo, that how should we build the profile of a student? Like, what are the skill sets we need?
Yes, that's a very nice question. First, if you want to go abroad to continue your education, then pay a lot of attention to what you are going to propose, because the only way that other people are going to know you is by your proposal. So they want to see if you have a good understanding of your profession or your studies until now, and they are going to do that just looking for the proposal you are going to do. So you want to have a nice profile, and before the institutions you want to go to, then the better idea is to build a nice, very structured study program or research program, because people want to know if you have something different from other students to go to the institution you want to study to. So that's my recommendation.
My name is Anushka Verma, and my question is, as we all know that time dilation occurs in space, so what happens to time near a black hole?
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand your question. Could you please repeat?
My question is, time dilation occurs in space. So, sir, what happens to time near a black hole?
Okay, okay. Who is the questionnaire? कौन पूछ रहे हैं आप अभी? Questioner कौन है? Candidate? What? Anushka, sir is from geophysics and his field is different. It's not relativity. You can call me later on. I will explain you in detail, right? That will be better. Let's have other question. Okay. Mr. Jairo, tell us about some few other interesting things which happened in your long teaching career or research career. If you remember 2-3 interesting events, incidents.
Yes, certainly. Those incidents have happened sometimes. Okay, first, when I went to Japan, I was very surprised for the way they study and they work. making a parallel between my country, Colombia, and Japan, then the difference is very big. So that was one of the first challenges I had to overcome in order to adapt to a culture that had so big experience in the field of science and doing research. So for me it was very hard, but my best point at that time was that I did very good pre-graduate studies in Colombia. So it means I took very seriously my career. When studying physics in Colombia, I always strive to do my best to reach something that other people have not yet done. And those points were taken into account by the institution. I applied for a scholarship. My proposal was a very good one, so they accepted me. That was one of my very difficult points to overcome in the past. The other point that I would like to share with you is that I had the opportunity here in Colombia to work in very poor regions here where students don't have real access to education. They have only access to some textbooks, maybe to some internet connections, and those who are a little more lucky have access to a school. So I was sent by my government to those regions in order to try to improve the teaching methodologies and to tell students why it's a good choice to keep looking for education. That was also a very big challenge, and fortunately I succeeded, and I went to a very far region here from the capital city of Colombia and chaired almost 3 years working with the students and teachers in so far regions. And I showed them that if they do a hard work in order to look for education, then they are going to be successful. So for those regions, that was the first time that they had access to high-level education. So after 2 years of work, we succeeded to take at least 10 students from about a group of 50 students to go to high-level education in Colombia. So for me, that was a very nice time, and I feel proud of tell this, share with you this this anecdote.
Great, Mr. Jairo. And which language is your national language in your country, which you speak there? Common people.
Yeah, most of the people here speaking Spanish.
Spanish.
English,
Okay, that's why. Huh?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, sir. Say something. Are good of Colombia. I've heard that. Hello. Say something about your country. Also, I have heard that on the basis of biodiversity, your country is one of the best country in the world. You have a lot of biodiversity there. Can you say a few words about it?
Yeah, you are right, Dr. Bridges. We have a lot of biodiversity here in Colombia, and it also means we have a big responsibility against not only our society here in Colombia, but before the whole world, keeping this diversity alive all the time and not contaminated for big industries and factories. So that's a fight we are doing now. At the government have now some proposals in order to make a kind of natural parks everywhere in the country. And by now we have more than 15 natural parks that protect that biodiversity. We have also here in Colombia a region to the west in the Pacific coast that has one of the highest raining levels in the world. And that region is also a sanctuary for biodiversity, and most of that region is protected now by the national government.
One more thing from my side. I have heard Colombian people are very beautiful looking, and you have a lot of scenic beauty also there. And we would like to visit your country. Which time is good to travel to your country, or as a educationist, or as a visitor or tourist?
If you want to come here to Colombia, you are very welcome. And it depends if you want to come to the mountains, the Andean region, then the best season to visit the mountain region will be March, April, May. But you want to go to the Caribbean region that has many beautiful resource sites, then it would be better if you go November, December, January.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You are very welcome.
Two more questions from students or faculty member if they want to ask.
Dr. Brijesh, I would like to just add on. Professor Carol is from a place from Southern Hemisphere. So we are going into winter and they are getting into summer. So that's another amazing thing. So I don't think many of us have ever been to a Southern Hemisphere. So that's something that I just wanted to say. So Dr. Carol, how is the weather there? Getting hot?
Yeah, Dr. Aparna, you are right. And because we are so near to the equator, indeed stations are not so stronger here. So we have a winter season that is when it is raining. And the summer is when it's not raining. So it's not so heavy, the influence of the seasons here in the tropical region. So it depends more in the region you are here. If you are in the mountains, then it's different from being in the coastal region because of the weather. Weather here in the capital city that is 2,600 meters over the sea level is a little cold, about 15 degrees Celsius, and is partially cloudy.
Okay, Mr. Cairo, we have a lot of students from school, college, and university also today in the session. According to you, all people, they have their own way, and all have some particular setup of principles in our mind based upon our knowledge, exposure, and all. What you will suggest them? Suppose they want to become movers and shakers of the world, they want to become big people in their life. What you tell them?
Okay, yes. For me, it's very important for young people to keep in mind that studying a profession is not only for getting a job and satisfies your main necessities. That's something that I call a routine. So please, if you want to go one step further, you want to improve your future, you want to contribute to the world, to humanity, keep in mind that you can do it anytime. You don't need to be in an institution that has large research facilities. That would be very nice, but unfortunately, it's not so easy to get there. But if you go to an institution that have a profession, give you the chance to study a profession, then you can illuminate yourself. It means you have to do your best all the time. Don't be happy sitting in a comfort zone. So it means if you learn a profession and you begin to do a job, don't let yourself get by the routine. You have to think always ahead. Be sure you have all you need to improve the work you are doing. When you improve the work you are doing research. It doesn't matter how big is your research. It could be small, it could be big, but any of them is contributing to society and humanity because you are doing something that is better than before. That's the way I recommend you to think in order to contribute to humanity and to improve your future.
One more thing I want. Suppose I have to say Colombia is very beautiful country. I want to visit Colombia and meet Colombian people. How do you say it in Spanish?
We say, muy bienvenidos a Colombia. Visítenos en cualquier momento. Nosotros los recibimos con los brazos abiertos.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very
Hello.
welcome, everybody.
हेलो हेलो
Yes, I can hear
Yes,
you.
बताइए कौन बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ रविंदर बोल रही हूँ. I have a question for this sir. Your villages in Colombia are as same developed as your cities? Are there any difference between your village development or cities?
Yes, unfortunately,
Got my question?
country. Yes, I got the question. Thank
Yes.
you. Unfortunately, here in Colombia, there are many difficulties because we have many regions, and most of the people is concentrated in the mountain regions and in the coast. But are many places far from the coast, far from the mountains, that are not easy to reach. So, for example, some villages here in Colombia don't have any road to go from a big city to that village. And also, they don't have any good connectivity, talking about internet, for example. So they have to rely only on the cell phone connectivity that is quite inefficient if you want, for example, to study from your village. So villages that are near big cities don't have so many troubles, but villages that are far from big cities, they have a lot of troubles, and the government is doing their best in order to improve their living status, but it's extremely expensive because distances and also topography is not easy to overcome. So that's the actual situation of many villages here in Colombia.
And what about the colleges and the schools? Are they easily available in villages, far-flung areas, or the students have to come far away to take study from the cities?
Yes, students in far villages have also study material, but the quality and quantity is not the same as the big cities. For example, here in big cities, we have the chance to get into internet, and the teachers have also the chance to use internet in order to teach their students. But teachers that are in far regions don't have access to internet because there is no connection. So they have to rely only in the old methods for teaching.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay. Yes, yes. Ask question.
So, what are the changes we see in the global standard of education since you studied in college? And the next question is, how does our academic subject define us on that basis?
So you are talking about the standards, the standard for physics here in the RITSI
No,
group?
sir. I mean the global standard of education. Just the global
Okay.
standard.
Okay. So global standards, in my concept, the world is still divided into poor zones and rich zones. So countries that have a lot of resources are leading the education. For example, North countries have a lot of different resources to teach students, and they are able to have a few students in only one classroom. But in countries, for example, like Colombia and other developing countries, we are not able to do that kind of treatment to students. We have to keep a lot of students in only one classroom, and that's not good for studying because the teacher is unable to reach every student. We try to bring to our country new methodologies to teach, but it takes time to make those new methodologies to go from big cities to the countryside. So international standards, in my concept, are very high in only one part of the world. We can say that developed nations have the chance to improve the teaching methodologies. But we are, as a developing countries, we are a little behind because we don't have so high capacity to implement those new technologies.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Cairo sir. Even you have this your national language as Spanish, but even then through English language you have made us understand all the things and maybe questions also. Before we take other questions, I want Dr. Aperna has lot of international exposure. What according to her are some good points or some principles according to her which are important for young generation people and new generation people to follow in their life, to do something big in their life, or maybe to become leaders of the world. What according to Dr. Aperna is there? You want to say something about this, Dr. Aperna?
Certainly, Dr. Brijesh. Thank you, Dr. Carol. And as Dr. Carol was saying, the world is divided when it comes to education into two halves, developed nations and the developing nations. So all the developing nations have the same problem. And I think like the developed nations, if they are developed today, is only because their population could feel that they are one, which we still haven't felt due to whatever the reason may be, because I think like at this moment, this is a very, very critical year of our of the human race, I would say, because after the after the Second World War, 1945, right? When was it? 45, 47. Historians should tell me that. So see, from 49 is where 1949 is where the developed nations started their thing. They were all in the doomsday. They were destroyed. Japan was destroyed. America was destroyed. Most of the Europe was destroyed. But see where they are today. And that is only because those people felt that they were one nation, they had to grow. So why not the developing nations? Why not us? Even we got our independence in 1947. Why couldn't we match with the pace that they were developing? While we were the ancient heritage, we have the ancient heritage, we are one of those ancient civilizations. So that's where, you know, that barrier, that thing that we missed then, I think why I said it's one again a landmark in our human history is now, because due to Corona, again, both the developing and the developed nations are on the same platform. Their population and our population are facing the same problems, the health, the business, the jobs, we are on the same. So if this time also we as a nation don't stand together, I don't think there is any possibility that for the next 50 years again, we would be having all the facilities that developed nations have. So definitely, I would not say that the developed nations have better brains. As Dr. Caro was saying, the developed nations have more facility, more funds for education, more funds for research, more funds in their universities and in their schools, in their hospital management systems and in their medical facilities. But we do have, India cannot be compared to any other developing nation of the world, because India is one nation which has such a huge population. So it's only about tapping our resources. So when you asked me, Dr. Brijesh, about two people, the elders, the seniors, who are the senior professors and educators in our society, and the youngsters who are trying to be something again in our society. So for all those senior researchers and professors, I think you should just go 1 mile ahead. You should not be where you are. Just go ahead, reach out to the young students, do whatever is possible. Even if you save 5 students, help them out, because your experience is what they need. They have the skill, they have the skills, but it's your experience which is going to help them to launch themselves. Guide them. Probably what you have missed in your life, let them not miss that. The angle that you are looking at life, probably just broaden your horizons. Maybe out of 1,000 students you help, one will definitely, as Dr. Bridges says, will become a world leader. So
okay, Dr. Apenna, one more thing. You got opportunity to be the student of Cambridge University also. Tell us some experience which you still remember and you want to share with us, so that our students also get motivated.
Oh, that's a nice question, Dr. Brijesh. I actually did my master's in English literature, philology actually, in Cambridge. And I did it because I was present there, because my husband was doing his master's in oncology, and then I was just there doing nothing. So I thought like the best way was to study English. So I did it from the King's College, Cambridge, and when I was doing this, one of the big, like very well-known professors came to me, and he said, "Why are you doing English?" I said, "I had nothing else to do, so I'm just doing it." He said, "That's not a reason why one would be in Cambridge. How did you get the seat, first of all? I wonder if you have this kind of an attitude towards the course." So I said, "No, it's not I have the attitude. You asked me why am I here, so I told you honestly why." And then I said, "I got the seat in the Cambridge because I thought I'm a UK's Queen awardee." And he said, "I don't believe." I said, "Doesn't matter. I also have 7 years of work experience." And then he just Googled out, and then the next day in the class, he said, "This lady who sits there doesn't speak, doesn't communicate, is this." And then he was clapping. I could not stop crying. So I think that's what I record from. I'll never forget that, sometimes what I want to say here, Dr. Brijesh, is sometimes we underestimate people who sit very quietly in the class. It's not just that we have to all the time talk. Sometimes we can just be quiet and be unknown. Thank you.
Yes, that's great. And I have heard that you are one of very few, or maybe only female from eastern part of world who got Queen's Award from UK, and this is a big achievement of yours. And I hope participants present today in this session, they must have got new directions to their life, that anything can be achieved.
Dr. Brijesh, I would like to share one more experience. That
Yes,
was as a student, so I would just like to share my job experience. And this would motivate many students who are aspiring for very big things in life. So there is some, like my husband says, I don't know when I get tired. So I don't have that limit where I have to say that, okay, I'm tired and I have to stop until I fall dead. So, that's something, and that I can tell you an experience why. It comes when you are a student and when you study laws. And anyone who's of my age and above could say that those days we did not have Google. To do even a small, find out even a small thing, we had to read in the library some millions of pages to get an answer for a small thing, which you can today do over a few seconds by Googling it out. So we were used to long hours of study, long hours of putting Fevicol and sitting on the seats and never getting up. And that helps us when we are professionals, because my first job was in the Joint Research Commission of European Union as an IT consultant. So I was hired in the campus interview. I used to go to the office at 7 in the morning, and I used to come out from my office at 3 in the midnight. So that's early morning. So I used to just come home only to change my clothes. So, seeing that, my boss said, and I was the only woman among 2,000 men working there, because those days IT, there were not IT consultants, women IT consultants. I'm talking way back in 94. So, I was one among 2,000 men. The only other lady was our receptionist, but she would sit somewhere and be a receptionist. So I was the most hardworking person. And in fact, our watchman used to say, "Man, people are about to come to the office and you're still back from the last night." So, those are the days when you spend, you get your first job. Not ask, how much is my salary? What am I going to get for my every extra hour? Which every youngster now asks. That's not the way you develop yourself. And that's the way I developed myself, being an Indian, not having a EU citizenship and working for EU government. EU government, I'm not talking about Italian government. I'm talking about EU, European Union's research center. So only European citizens are supposed to work there. So how did I get hired? How could I retain that job? And how could I get the best consultants award there among the Europeans? Everybody knows about the racism. So where was the racism? There was no racism. So the word racism is not existing if you are the best. And only if you slog, if you work and work and work. And I think that there's no shortcut to hard work. There's no shortcut to hard work. And of course, God is there. He will help you, he will motivate you, but then God doesn't sit and give this to everyone. You have to work hard. And I continue to work hard, still today. And you can ask Dr. Brijesh how hard I work. So even today I work 18 to 19 hours. So there's no shortcut, believe me. And so that's my final call for all of you. Work hard. If you have a dream, the dream needs to be worked. You cannot just sit and dream. Then it's just a dream. It's not an ambition. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Three final questions. Then we can wrap up the session. And maybe those who have already asked, let's give opportunity to other one. Anyone can ask if you have not done it earlier in the session.
Dr. Brijesh,
Any participant?
I would like to take Dr. Singh's question first, because he's raised his hand. I would love to take it.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
Actually, Dr. Aparna, you are looking more of the family of our own conference, than a person from outside. So that looks wonderful. And you have been so outspokenly, doing your expression and telling everything to us. Thank you so much. And I just want to, because as a parent, when you settle abroad, then the further generation, your own children and grandchildren, so they get little alienated from the Indian culture. And that's a big challenge for the parents staying outside. So would you like to speak on that, and what is the solution, or maybe what we can do about that challenge So that was my worry and concern also. Thank you so much.
Certainly, doctor. That was a very beautiful question. And actually, I would love to answer that. I would like to say that I'm married to an Italian. So I'm married to a family which is Italian, which is not my religion. They are Christians. But my son, I named my son. See, it all depends always on a mother. I don't know how much it depends on a father, but definitely I believe that it depends on a mother what you want your children to be. If you are a strong-willed woman, especially a woman of profession and not just cooking in the kitchen, you'll definitely know that kitchen is strong, but also profession is strong. And when you blend kitchen and profession together, I think any woman is strong. And I'm a very strong woman. Probably I come from a father who was a patriot who has, been giving and fighting wars for India. And my brother is still in the army. So I have the bloodline, which is very, very patriotic. So you see my son, the only thing I could not make him a pure vegetarian, but I asked him, see, your mom is Krishna conscious and you can't eat Gomata because she's a mother for me. You eat any damn thing in the world. You can eat earthworms, frogs, whatever you want, but you can't eat beef. Until today, I'm very proud to say he doesn't. And I was very much criticized in my own family from my mother-in-law, parents, and my husband's brothers and sisters saying that you're a very strict mother, you're Indian, and you don't let your son go out and this and that. But I think it was worth, because I used to send my son, I have only one son and who's finishing his medicine now. And I would say, and I'm very proud of him because I think I'm proud of myself as a mother because I brought him well. The people who criticized me that I was very strict, I did not allow my son to do this and that and go out with friends and freak out. I think they are the people who are appreciating my son today. So it depends on the mother, what she does, what you want to do. I was born in a Hindu family and I continue to be a Hindu, not because if I was born in a Muslim family, I would have continued to be in a Muslim family because religion is not something to be changed. Neither is nationality. And that's where, doctor, you said that it looks as if I am still an Indian. I would always be an Indian. That's how I would die.
Excellent, Dr. Aparna. We are proud of you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
So knowledge is only for accumulation, doctor, and for students. It doesn't.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Sure, please go ahead.
Ma'am, first of all, greetings to everyone. This is Sargam Sharma here. Ma'am, as I can infer it from your personality that you are really a very strong lady. So, ma'am, according to you, what are the weaknesses of Indian women which makes obstacles for them and prevents them from developing ahead?
The family. Indian women are the strong. I think one of the strongest women I've come across. And if you get a strong family, you go very smooth. If you get a little bit not strong family, then you are in the tempest, but still the Indian woman forgets that after the tempest, there are those favorable winds, which we all sail through, but we lose hope. So the Indian women, I think the weakest point is we lose hope, and we should not lose hope. We should not lose hope for whatever comes and happens, because our soul, no one can change. Our brain, no one can take. And I think getting educated, going to the universities, being around people like Dr. Brijesh and Dr. Patania, this is something you should do. And marriage is not an end, it's just the beginning of life. So you should take it like that. But many of them just end it there. No, it should not be an end.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question.
Dr.
Prakshit, you have already asked. Let's give chance to some other participant.
Okay, sir.
You write your question to me. You write your question to me, and I will put it to Aparna directly, and you will get answer also.
Okay,
Any other participant, if you want to ask question, then it's time to wrap up the session also, because our chairperson for today's session is also waiting. Last question from any other participant.
Dr.
Excuse
Bridget,
me, ma'am.
ask Dr. Sandeep to ask me one question because I've seen him. He's
Okay.
been there.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
please. One question on behalf of all.
Sandeep sir, you want to
Yes,
ask?
sir, please. Can I?
Yes, yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Am
sir.
I audible?
You are audible, sir. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, sir, you're not audible. You were audible, but you are not audible anymore.
Ma'am, can I ask my question till then?
Ishita, can you just wait a bit?
Yes, ma'am.
Sandeep sir, perhaps your mic is muted. इसको unmute करें आप please.
Unmute, sir. It is unmute.
Okay. Now you're audible also. So go ahead.
Some signal problem could be there.
Okay, let some other student ask one more question. By then, perhaps he will be able to speak.
Okay, Ishita.
Ma'am, is there any program like we can just directly go for a PhD and skip the masters? If yes, ma'am, where? Because I've heard about it.
Yes, in European countries, you don't need to do MPhil to do your doctorate. Masters is sufficient. In any
Ma'am,
European country.
okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you really very much.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Very good evening to all of you, all the participants, and very good evening to our both of the speakers, Dr. Aparna and Professor Ziaro from Colombia. Really, I assure you, Dr. Aparna and Professor Ziaro, you enlightened our participants in a very simple and a very powerful communication with our participants. I personally think so. We are not online. We are listening you in front of us. So nice of you, Dr. Aparna. And your one thing I got from your lecture, set your goal and no shortcuts to the hard work. That's very good. And you, in a very simple and very powerful way, you explained us the Italian education system and the life in the European life. By chance, I also visited Germany for a week to present my research paper there. And after that, I also visited USA as a Fulbright scholar. And I do agree with you, there are some issues with the developing countries. But we will take care of all of them. And again, I thank you to Professor Ziaro also. He also interacted in a very powerful manner, and I assured, and I'm of a opinion that all our participants have been benefited with your views, your experiences in their life, and I am of a good belief that all our students, participating students, will be motivated with your views and by listening to both of you. And I hope all the participants are benefited with a lovely talk. And at the last, I thank you, Ma'am Ziaro and Professor Ziaro and Dr. Aparna for sparing your valuable time for our participants and for the organizers and for me also. I really appreciate both of you and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
So it's time, Karan sir, for closing remarks if you are there, and we can close the session after a few minutes.
I am there, sir. The lot is spoken, and lot is interacted, and this is truly international. This workshop is truly international, and we all faculty members, students, and all who are connected are being greatly benefited by this conference. And we have truly global exposure, global experience, and global knowledge. And I'm especially thankful to Dr. Perna and Dr. Zairo, and you, Dr. Brajesh Chauhan, and all the organizers, and chairperson of today's session, Dr. Sandeep Kandwal. So thank you all the participants for this useful talk, useful session. And this session is very interactive and very especially beneficial, I think, to the students. Our students are greatly being benefited by this conference. This conference will go on. This is 15 days program, and we are learning a lot from it. So thank you very much.